All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Makak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. And this is going into that, no matter how much, man, the fake united front of this world tries to be doing what they're doing and that. Right, where these Edomites for the longest time, and these Edomites put up a united front, which if you look up the term united front, you'll realize that it's a facade, basically, right? It's seeming like you're unified while people are watching, but then behind the scenes, you've got loads of problems going on, man. And all the united fronts of this world are starting to break down, man, to the point where the Edomite woman is trying to throw the Edomite man under the bus and trying to make out like everything that was going on in this world that's been going on since they've been ruling was mainly just his fault. But a lot of the things that he was doing was to try and make their lives better, man. But now that they're realizing that Esau's turning against them as well, they're trying to throw him under the bus, and it's not going to work because both the Edomite man and the Edomite woman have got the same predestined destiny, right? They're going to receive the same thing. They're going to receive exactly the same thing, man. But then even how Jake and Esau try and unite and under a certain particular political party, or we're against immigration or this or that, the united front of that's not working as well, man, because there's like always a dark, as considering what Esau did to us, there's always going to be that layer of, listen, man, you're talking about all of these things as if you didn't have nothing to do with it, as if your people never had nothing to do with it, man. And you can't try and talk about the state of so-called black people without acknowledging, if you're being sincere, you can't talk about the state of these people without talking about what happened prior. Otherwise, you're just an asshole that's just being disingenuous, man. Right? Same thing with how you can't talk and cry and complain about immigration without acknowledging that the same countries that people have immigrated or migrated to, right? The country that they're migrating to previously went to their country and did damage there to make their countries unlivable. So then the people are naturally, as a survival instinct, right, going to travel from one country to another. And if you make where you live be the only safe place or one of the safer places, then people are obviously going to travel there as a survival instinct. And if the people that run those countries find that they can use those people to benefit their pockets, then they're going to do that. And it will eventually end up destroying the country that they have been brought to. But had you have not destroyed those other people's country, your country wouldn't be destroyed, and those people would have built up their own thing in their own area, man. And this is just a quick video, man, about going into how the united fronts, all the fake united fronts are being destroyed, man. Esau's turning against Esau. Yahweh, like he said he was going to do, right? According to prophecy, he's going to set up these Egyptians against the Egyptians, man. These Edomites that are in modern day Egypt, which is Babylon the Great, America, are being turned against each other, man. Right? And fighting against each other. And we're seeing that all the dysfunction that they tried to point out. Oh, black people are doing this. So-called white people are doing exactly the same things right now, and have always been doing the same things on a way more grand scale. The Ukraine and Russia war has resulted in a hell of a lot more unalived so-called white people than street gang violence has ever done. Way more. But that's not because of their race, though, innit? Let's say I'm to accept that every single time that a so-called black man unalived another so-called black man or unalived anyone else, it's because he's black. All right, I'll accept that. Let's just pretend I'm prepared to accept that that's the reason why. Okay, what's the reason why you do it then? Is it because you've got a high IQ? Like, what's the reason as to why? You Edomites have always got all this psychological analysis on everyone else, right? But when it comes to your own people, you don't ever seem to want to break down anything or acknowledge anything because you're just devils, man. Oh, I don't want to debate now. I don't want to get into that now. When are you going to get into it? When are you going to acknowledge that the past, right, influences the future? When are you going to acknowledge that? Just like how the pastor, what you Edomites have did, is going to be the reason why you're going to experience Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. Now, you Edomites like to claim you're Christian, right? England's a Christian country. America's a Christian country. Well, okay. Read Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. And the nation that it says is going to no longer exist, that's talking about you all. And that's a judgment that God's going to give unto you. That's the judgment that God's decided for you because of how hypocritical you are, man. Now, among the so-called white race, there's people that are not really so-called white, because so-called white and so-called black and Chinese and all these are fake constructs that don't actually exist. But you Edomites push those to control the world and to manipulate it under nationality by skin color, whereas nationality is actually based off, do you descend from this particular man? So there's going to be some people that are among the so-called white race that are actually Israelites, like how the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are. And there's going to be some people that are among the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are really the Israelites. There's going to be some people that look like those groups that I just mentioned that are actually going to belong to Esau, and they'll be what's known as tares. But for the most part, every single person of every single race pretty much is what they look like. But there's going to be certain people that have been scattered into other nations, man. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Right? And that's what's happening, man. The united fronts of all of these fake things going on in society are being exposed, man. And Yahweh is going to eventually put away all of those fake united fronts, man, because people try and make it like so-called black people are just the most dysfunctional people in the earth, right? But when it's all said and done, we're going to realize that all these other people have got beef amongst each other. And if that's not the truth, then explain this prophecy to me. If it's only so-called black people that have got a problem with each other, then you got to explain this to me. You got to explain this prophecy to me, man. 2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse 31. And in fact, verse 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, because in the midst of when Yahweh Shai comes back to the world, the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus, right? Because I don't even like saying that name. It's a demonic name, Jesus is, right? And if you can get offended at that, I don't care. The name Jesus is a demonic name. Jesus, that name, is the top demon that's been spread across the whole earth to try and pretend like God loves everybody. He don't, right? The real name of the Messiah is Yahweh Shai, right? I'll say it again. The real name of the Messiah in the Bible is Yahweh Shai. I'll say it again. The real name of the Messiah in the Bible's name is Yahweh Shai, right? Which means he's a deliverer or he's a savior. And that Jesus thing ain't got nothing to do with anything, right? And I ain't trying to hear no, oh, that's what it is in English and all that, mate. His name's a Hebrew word, so that's his name. You don't need to be a linguistic genius to understand that if someone's name's a Hebrew word, that's their name, right? Verse 30, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, because there's going to already be World War III kicking off in the earth at the time when Yahweh Shai comes back to the earth, man, and he's going to bring even worse. You know that saying that people say, oh, I don't think at least it couldn't get any worse. No, it's going to get worse, man. It's going to get way worse. Verse 31, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, one realm against another. So if it's only so-called black people that are all the problems in this world, right? Well, then it should, when in this prophecy, it should only say that the Israelites are going to be the only ones doing all the problems in it. Because the way how this world tries to paint the narrative, right, is that if so-called black people is taken off the earth, there'd be no crime, and every single place in the world would be a complete utopia. But I watch a lot. I should probably chill out with how much of it I watch. I watch a lot of body cam arrest videos, man. A lot of them. Loads of them, man. And some of the videos are so-called black people. And when on the same channel, and when I watch some of these channels, there'll be like maybe 30%, 40% of the videos that I might see some of the time, like just that the uploads for that particular week or month might just be all so-called black people's crimes. But then on the channel, right, there's so-called white people committing crimes on the same channel. And some of the people that will comment on these channels more than likely are subscribed or have got the ability to look on the channel and go and look at other videos. But on their comment, they'll say, you know what? I see black people, blah, blah, blah. It's not always them, but it's always them. Ashamed of nothing, of nothing, and all this. I got all this shit to say, right? But on the same channel where there'll be a video of a so-called white person doing exactly the same thing, man. Saying, like, they used to, so-called white people tried to say this about black people. Didn't do nothings. Another didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. And NUFFIN, nothing. Not even spelling it properly, right? But when so-called white people commit crimes, I hear them saying this. I didn't do nothing wrong. So who's the real didn't do nothing? If you, like, it's easy to try and paint about how something's because of race. And if you don't believe that, just wait till y'all see the kingdom of the Israelites, man. Every single thing that you Edomites get caught doing all the time, we're going to say that's because you're an Edomite. Oh, the reason why you can't keep all the laws and become immortal, yeah, that's because you're an Edomite. You're a low IQ. All that racial things is going to be able to easily be put on you, man. Somebody having complete control over your life, they can easily try and paint fake narratives. Like, you Edomites are so sick in the head that you made a fake psychological mental illness called drapetomania, which drapetomania was a fake mental disease that you claimed, oh, if a so-called black man doesn't want to be a slave, it's because he's got a mental health problems. Oh, he's got drapetomania, his mind ain't right. Doesn't the Bible say, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad? So actually, he ain't got drapetomania, he's wise and doesn't want to be oppressed, dummy. But you Edomites can never see anything from nobody else's perspective, man. You can only ever see it from your Edomite perspective. That's the only way you can ever see it. And you claim you don't see color, right? But you definitely do, man. Because who don't see color? Everyone sees color. Saying you don't see color don't make you righteous. It makes you a liar. All right, mate, I don't see color. I don't see color. Oh, those are some nice green trainers you got, mate. Oh, thanks. I picked them out especially. I thought you don't see color. Don't start chatting shit. You see color. Don't fucking lie, man. And that's why when we look at these comment boards, we see noticing pattern recognition. Noticing pattern recognition doesn't make me a racist. Because I notice pattern recognition. Well, I've noticed some pattern recognition as well about you Edomites. And that is that you're snakes in the grass and that everyone really hates you, man. And the only reason why people in this world even talk to you a lot of you is because there's money to be made from talking with you. But eventually, when it's all said and done, the main country that shows you Edomite ways is going to be destroyed, man. It's going to be according to your own fault, man. Because you just never left people. You could just refused to leave people alone. And we're starting to realize that if you so-called white people cannot throw another race or another group of people under the bus, you end up hurting each other because you've always been like that. When the ability to throw other people under the bus is not there, right, or try and have hatred towards another group of people, the hatred goes and implodes on itself, man. Because you're just a hateful people. You're just evil. And if you're not, prove me wrong then. Prove that you're not evil. Because you expect us to always have to prove something to you, right? You prove it to us. This prophecy here says that everyone's going to be fighting against each other. I'll read it again. One shall undertake to fight against another. One city against another. One place against another. One people against another. And one realm against another. And this prophecy here goes into how people are going to be fighting against their own neighbors, which means that people that live around each other, which people by race normally live around each other, even in other countries where there's so-called melting pots, and the people are going to be fighting against each other, man. But if it's only so-called black people that got problems going on, then all these other people would use their so-called high IQs and unite, and the so-called black race and the rest of the Israelites, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Americans, they'd all just be the ones fighting against each other. There's a hell of a lot of dysfunction amongst you other nations as well, inside of yourselves, but it doesn't get pointed out because this world has tried to make out like we're the only ones that have got problems, man, and tries to use the news media to try and push it and to try and ruin our image mainly because we're the children of Israel. Y'all ain't as important as you think you are, man. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 8 and verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Y'all are gonna all be dysfunctional as well. But if y'all were so nice, then even with a lack of bread, you would still all unite and share and ration with each other in it. And even without the lack of bread, y'all are dysfunctional against each other, but it just doesn't get pointed out as much because the world's trying to ruin the so-called black man's image, mainly because we're the children of Israel and they don't want us to repent and remember who we are and get our everlasting kingdom. And it's a plan to try and stop the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, from returning to the earth and getting his kingdom and sharing it with his own nation, the Israelites, man, which are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and all the other people that are going to descend from Jacob, right? That might not know that they are, but believe in the same doctrine that the Hebrew Israelites believe, man. And this is what's going on in the earth. Now, you don't have to believe it. You can stay believing that if you eventually one day is going to come and you're going to vote for the right person and they're going to make the world a utopia, you can keep believing it if you want to. You can stay being dumb and ignorant if you want to. Go ahead, man. All you people out there claiming that you got a high IQ, claiming that other people have got a low IQ, right? But you actually believe that your vote means something. So who's the real dummy? Who's the real idiot here? You that believes that your vote's gonna eventually pick in somebody that's righteous, but you don't get. If you knew a righteous man that lived in the world, right, you wouldn't even be able to allow him to be the person that can be voted for. You can't just pick any man, any random man, and say, you know what, I think that this guy should run the country, and then try and build him up. You can't do that. They have to go through the people that run the world right now, as particular industries, to get even a chance to be the people that you get to vote for, man. You can't just make anyone be that. So it's a joke, right? And I'm gonna end the video there, man. All the united fronts of this society, all these fakery, is gonna be broken down, man, and it's gonna just be exposed that you people was trying to blame the children of Israel for everything, but eventually the blame it on a black man trick isn't gonna work anymore. Oh, but this is happening because of black men. No, eventually it's not gonna work like that, man.